This week on the No More Late Fees podcast, we are joined by Ryan and Rob of the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Rob.
Hello, and I am Ryan. Thank you so much for having us. Yes.
So excited to finally have you both on. We met, I want to say you were one of the first podcasts that we met when we first started. And you just, you guys have been so supportive and helpful, and it's just been so nice. I'm so glad you guys are finally on. I know there is a multitude of podcasts that the two of you are both have your fingers in. So I don't want to just limit it to obviously Radical Retro Rewind, but why don't you tell us about that show and then your other shows so everyone kind of gets a glimpse.
Yeah, I definitely get around, but yeah, Ryan, Ryan, you could start. Tell them about our current show.
So we currently do Radical Retro Rewind. Funny enough, we met on our previous show, which was Brunch with the Hollowells, which was a Charmed for all of you 90s witch fans out there, or 2000s too. I mean, they crossed over. So we met on there. I replaced a co-host that had left, and Rob gave me the chance, and we just took that. We continued the series. We finished the show, and then we're still currently doing Radical Retro, the nostalgia podcast.
Yeah, I had a few, I shouldn't say a few, like a couple. Well, yeah, narrow it down. I didn't have a lot, but I had a couple of movie podcasts that I tried to start, and I did that for a very long time. I've been podcasting since I think 2014, 15.
Wow.
A veteran.
And yeah, the movie one went for a while, and I had a lot of fun, and that's kind of how I got into sort of the podcast community and the support and everything, and having to get on Twitter and Instagram. I swear I wouldn't even touch that stuff if it wasn't for having a podcast, because I just did not want to have to keep up with all of that. But now that I'm on it, I use it pretty frequently, but it was more for the show. And then once Brunch hit, I that was my life for a very long time. I did that for almost 6-7 years. And now Ryan has graciously allowed me to be on his show as a co-host, so I can keep going.
So how did you guys, Ryan, how did you come up with the concept of doing Radical Retro Rewind?
So it's so funny. You were mentioning earlier, I feel like we really started around the same time as well. And I know it was that downtime with the pandemic, and there was more time to explore things that you never got to do before, more time for this, more time for that. And I always had this, I guess, this weird knowledge about like nostalgic things and action figures, and like I always just thought it was geeky and stuff. And then Instagram, you find out that people are into this, and
right.
And then we find fellow podcasts such as yourselves and this retro community. And having done Brunch and having the opportunity, I was like, you know what, let me give it a shot. And then I mean, we're here still somehow.
I absolutely love the design of all the content you create. Just fun colors, and you guys do a really great job with that. And then your basement series, where you're pulling like some of your old stuff from your childhood, is really, I'm like so enthralled with like what's coming out of this box this week. So
I kept a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't, like
Star
Wars cereal boxes and things like that.
No, I mean, people, like, obviously, like you said, there is an audience for it. People are selling stuff on eBay like crazy. So yeah, anything for us millennials and Gen Xers to just pretend the world doesn't exist.
So true. And anything to escape and just have a great time. And it's so amazing that there is so much love for the nostalgic scene.
I also love that you guys do such campy fun movies, especially during horror season has been really fun to kind of see.
Yeah. That's one reason why I enjoy being a co-host on Ryan's show, is because as we were getting to know each other, we just found out we have the same eclectic tastes and just these weirdo, like, under the radar movies that should have gotten more praise and love when they were first out. And so it was great to be able to connect with Ryan in that way, because I know that if I have a movie that no one has ever recorded or reviewed,
We'll do it.
Will do it, because he's so open to my type of taste, whether he likes it or not. I just want to know what he thinks about it, and he's been very open with that. So we've introduced each other to stuff that we didn't know about or were waiting to know, to watch. And yeah, so it's been good.
I always say we don't do like the big ones. We don't do Mannequin. We start with Mannequin 2. Like that's radical retro, right? Like Rob, we wouldn't do like the mainstream. We always do, oh, this one, there's another one.
I think the first episode I ever listened to was your Jason in New York episode,
yes,
I think. And I died. Like, I don't really like scary movies, but the way that you went through that one had me laughing a lot. So
we really do love to laugh. And it goes between, that was the other cool thing, goes between Rob and my brother David. So we alternate that way. So that adds a whole other eclectic taste, because he has, like, we just did Howling 2. Again, another sequel, but that was a David pick, my brother. And it's like, again, these eclectic, weird movies. What does that say about us? I don't know.
That you're fun, that
you're willing to watch the movies no one else wants to.
Yeah,
that explains things, Rob. Why we're
I know, right? Yeah, we were trying to tap into those who's like, yes, I do remember that movie, but I don't remember it too much, only because nobody talks about it. We are the voice for those who want to talk about these under the radar films, but yet don't have a community to do it with. So hopefully we're engaging that way.
Well, that's why. So originally we were supposed to do another movie, a foreign movie, and it's a great horror movie. But then somehow I stumbled on this week's movie, which is Boltnik.
I'm so glad you did.
With Ryan Reynolds. And I was just like, oh my God, this just feels more like a movie we would do with you guys. So it's going to be exciting.
So fun. So fun. It is actually, as it started, I was like, this is probably perfect.
Are you guys ready for a game?
Oh, yes. Love games.
So this is witch, vampire, or werewolf. We're going to Jackie's going to throw out some names of some actors. And you have to tell us if they have played a witch, vampire, or werewolf. Be alert that there are a few trick questions in these. Okay. So we'll see
and
how
they could be
well.
They could be multiples, right?
They can.
Yeah.
This is such a Rob. He loves games. He loves games. He's like, I can already see him ready.
Okay. Our first one is Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay, so do we just openly answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are a team. You're a team.
She's definitely been a witch,
right?
A couple of times.
I was thinking Dark Shadows, but she was just nothing in that.
Yeah. No, she's been a witch a couple of times. She was technically a werewolf for like 3 seconds. And you said vampire?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't recall her being a vampire. But I know
she would be a perfect vampire. If she
I know. I would say a werewolf and a witch for sure.
Yes.
What do you think, Ryan?
I agree. We'll forget the vampire.
You're right. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ryan, you had a shocked face. So do you remember Jack Nicholson's Wolf?
You're right. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I was referring to.
That was a risque movie at the time when we were growing up.
Our next one is Angela Bassett.
Witch.
Go ahead, Ryan. You know she was a witch. What else?
Vampire. Okay, so I'm thinking of Eddie Murphy.
Yes, we did this one.
So vampire.
Yeah. She was definitely a vampire and a witch. I don't know if she was a werewolf though.
But again, a great cast. I would love
Yeah.
to see that as well.
You guys are correct.
All
She
right.
did play a witch in American Horror Story, and she did play a vampire in Brooklyn.
Vampire Brooklyn. Yes.
Next up, Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin was a wolf.
Yeah.
She
Was a mutant.
did she play a witch though? I don't remember her being a witch.
Think of cameos, Rob. I don't know.
And I'm thinking
Scream 4. No,
I'm thinking vampire. I don't recall that either.
no.
True Blood, she was not a vampire in that. And she wasn't a witch in that either. I think she was just a werewolf. But yeah, that one I'm not sure of. Yeah, that's my final.
Yeah, she was just a werewolf. I thought you might get kind of thrown off because she was in True Blood, so that one was a little
that
tricky.
was smart. That exactly.
She was a fairy in that one. Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
All right, Ryan, you got this one.
She was a vampire in a dream nightmare episode of Buffy. Witch. I'm like, witch.
People have called her a witch.
Werewolf. I don't think Buffy ever turned into a werewolf, and I can't think of. Oh, wait, that new show she's on that I didn't get to see, Wolfpack.
Oh, she is one. Yes, that's right. I did watch that show. Oh, okay, that was a little bit of a spoiler, but yes, she was. She is
one in there. Okay, so that's.
Yes,
I'm glad. Okay, as long as we know,
we'll say those two. I don't recall her being a witch.
Yes, in a movie that I want us to do one day. Simply Irresistible.
That's right. Oh, you are so right. That's right.
She is a triple threat, y'all. She has been a witch, a vampire, and a werewolf.
Okay.
Trifecta.
Nice.
Next
I can't
up,
wait for us to do Simply Irresistible as well.
That is such an underrated movie.
It is.
Next up, we have Christina Ricci.
Okay.
Ricci was a werewolf for sure.
In that movie.
Yeah. That movie. And Cursed. Yeah, Cursed. A vampire. She would make a wonderful vampire.
But
I don't think she was. As far as a witch.
Wednesday, is she considered a witch?
She's got witch blood in her, but I don't know if she was ever labeled as a witch in those movies. Did she play a witch in Wednesday? Did she? I mean, she messed around with magic.
Oh, in the Wednesday show, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if that would count.
She was referenced as a witch in Sleepy Hollow. I believe. And then she played a werewolf as well.
Okay.
In that movie.
I'm very surprised that she hasn't played a really dedicated witch role and a vampire role. Yeah.
She would make a wonderful vampire.
Angela Bassett. Who else we got? Michelle Pfeiffer as a vampire.
Yeah.
Let's just cast all of them in a vampire movie.
Yes.
We have up next Hugh Jackman.
Oh,
whoa. Hugh Jackman.
I know he slayed them in that movie, right?
Yeah, but did he get turned?
Well, Wolverine is he considered a wolf?
No. I mean, not the official werewolf.
No, you're right. Oh.
Did he turn in Van Helsing? I don't
remember that either. And I saw it a few times.
Maybe this is one of those trick ones where he wasn't anything.
And Van Helsing, he
did turn.
Yeah, werewolf. Yeah.
Okay, I only watched that the one time, so I wouldn't have remembered that.
According to IMDb.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen it in a long time either.
I would love it if he played a witch or a warlock. Ooh. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
It would.
Add it to the cast.
Up next, Nicolas Cage.
God, he should have played all of them by now.
Vampire, yes, right? Okay, so we know vampire.
Yes. So he was so good
Um,
at that. Okay. Ooh, no, I'm thinking Vampire's Kiss, but that was Vampire. No, I
Wolf.
don't think he's played a werewolf before. I might get this one wrong.
He
was
so should have.
I don't recall him doing spells in front of a cauldron either. But he was a sorcerer, so if that counts in that category, then I would say he is a witch.
Yes.
I knew he did magic somewhere.
Yeah. And not
Yeah,
not Wolf, right?
Yeah, I don't remember a wolf, so yeah, we'll
He's
go
played a
with that.
vampire twice, and
Yes.
I did count him as a witch in the Sorcerer's Apprentice, one of Jackie's faves.
I love that movie.
I know.
I was like, I know the answer to this.
I know. I saw your eyes light up, and I was like,
I'm just glad I remembered it. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And our last one, the incredible Selma Hayek.
Ooh. So Selma's
Ooh,
definitely been
vampire.
Yeah, definitely a vampire. Now, was she one of the witches in Four Rooms?
Ooh, Four Rooms. That's like a Rob movie.
I know. I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if she was involved in that movie, but I don't remember her being a witch in there. Maybe I'm wrong. Ooh. A witch.
Werewolf, though. Werewolf.
I don't recall. And hopefully she didn't voice a werewolf anywhere.
Yeah. Hotel Transylvania 10.
I'm only getting vampire with this
Vampire,
one.
yeah. Vampire.
well, from my research, I only saw vampire come up. But if I'm wrong, listeners, please send us a tweet,
let us know.
a message that what other wonderful being
I
she's
mean,
been.
we would have never guessed Ryan Reynolds played Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Are you guys ready for your employee picks? We'll alternate. We'll start with Ryan and then go to Rob and go back and forth.
Sounds good.
Oh, I should have gotten a date of this movie, but I know it's within the range because I rented it. It's at Blockbuster.
And for new listeners, Jackie and I used to work at Blockbuster, and we used to be able to pick our favorite movies to recommend to different customers called employee picks. So now we're letting Ryan and Rob pick their 3 from 1995 to 2005.
So my first would be Head Over Heels.
Ooh, we had so much fun doing that movie.
Which I had done with Rob on one of his podcasts, and I am so doing it on Radical at some point again. That's
it's so
good.
So I love that movie. Love that movie.
We almost died because we did the movie, and then Monica Potter now follows us on Instagram. I still to this day am like, okay, she's still there. She hasn't gone anywhere.
You gotta look.
And then like Tamiko and what was the girl who played the Russian?
Oh, Roxana Milashnikova.
They
or something.
all shared posts and stuff and like tagged us. I was like, oh God, they know us.
All our dreams are coming true.
Yeah.
All we need is Freddie Prinze Jr. at this point. I don't know why he keeps holding off.
You guys got to do more horror stuff to get him, because he's currently reviewing horror movies now. So that's the way to get to him. I don't know if he would take this as a compliment or not, but I honestly think that was his best role. I between that, I mean, I love him in Scooby-Doo, but Freddie Prinze in Head Over Heels, I swear, is perfection for him. I just think he did so good in that. And I would even shout him out for like being an amazing father on Punky Brewster. I hope we get a second season, but he was so good in that for the role that was given to him.
Do you think they're going to make one? It's been so long since the first season came out.
I think with this strike, some shows have definitely been put on the back. I haven't heard anything, but I'm sure they probably cut off their roster in half due to all this stuff that's been going on. So I don't really expect one, but I wouldn't be mad if they made another. Yeah. Okay, so one of mine, and I had to really brainstorm here because a lot of my favorites are in the 80s, but I love the 90s. I love the 90s. I'll go with one. Um, this is 1997, Michael Douglas, The Game.
Ooh,
it's
that's
so
a good
good.
one.
I love this movie so much. One of the biggest twists I've ever seen on the big screen, and I still talk about it. I still recommend it to people, and I know nobody watches it, but it's David Fincher, who is amazing. And yeah, it's a little bit of a slow burn, but I think the payoff is great. So that's one of my favorites I would recommend.
All right, back to you, Ryan. You guys have really good choices so far.
You might roll your eyes here because Rob, I think, is going to roll his eyes.
I definitely will.
Because it might be the season, but I am going Practical Magic.
That's such a good one.
It's one of those movies that, yes, it's repeated every fall on Fox Family, ABC, Freeform, whatever channel it is now, like that ABC Family channel. But I just love it, and I always rented that movie.
In our last episode, we were like recasting horror movies and spooky movies, and I picked Practical Magic with an all-black cast. And I was like,
Ooh.
Angela Bassett should definitely be in it with Keke Palmer being her daughter. And I would be like, so good. All
So
right,
good.
Rob, which one is yours?
Ooh, okay. I am going to go. God, there's so many that I want to say now. I don't know if anybody's recommended this, I'm sure. 2000s Bring It On. It
Ooh,
is
good one.
one
Excellent
of
choice.
my favorite movies, and I just think the representation is great in there, and I love the cheers, and it definitely made LA look real good. Now, this is obviously before I moved here, so they lied. But,
Oh,
I'm living in the city. I should remember that, what's on the movie is definitely different. But no, I love Bring It On. Bring It On is one of my favorites. So
Such
that's
a
a
good movie.
recommendation.
It
Mhm.
is.
And Brian, your
Yeah.
last one.
I am going again the month maybe, but I'm going the remake of Dawn of the Dead from 2004.
Ooh, that's a
Very
good one.
scary, especially if you're not into horror movies. It could be very intense, I feel like, but I feel like that was one of the last great horror movies I feel like I rented. And not that I'm going just by that, but I remember though that time period, and I felt like
Yeah.
that was like
Yes.
such a 2000 movie.
I think it just blew my mind because I had seen Sarah Polley in Avonlea for so long. And then to
Yes.
see her, and she went like from Go to that movie. I was just like, I don't know you, Sarah.
Complete
I don't know what's
opposite.
happening. All right, Rob, what's your last one?
All right. So I've given a comedy. I've given a psychological thriller. I can give another comedy or psychological thriller. Which do you prefer? On the
Whatever
wall.
you want, whichever is your
There's
fave.
so many. It's hard for me to decide. Nope. Okay. I'll go with my husband's movie, 2001's Donnie Darko.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's a good one.
If you want to watch any movie regarding time travel, for me, I think this is the one that I think will give you more conversation with
Yes.
your deciding how it works. I think this has a very interesting way of doing time travel and time loops and things like that. And so, yeah, Donnie Darko.
For me, it's always 13 going on 30. Nobody.
Oh,
said
yeah?
it.
Yeah, that one's yours.
I love that time. Like nobody ever, they call it a body swap. I complain about this all the time, and I'm like, no, it's like a time travel situation.
Yeah, it's not a body swap.
Yeah, I would say body swap. No, I mean, I would say it's going back
Time
in
travel.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's no other version of Jenna. So, anywho, we're not going to
Yeah.
get into that. Why don't you guys tell everybody where they can find you on social? Yeah.
Ryan, go ahead.
You can find the podcast at Radical Retro Rewind Podcast, one word, on Instagram. We are always updating that. As a matter of fact, I've made it like my real account now. Like Rob knows my personal one. No, I have no idea. I never check it.
We're slowly building up our TikTok, so definitely follow
Yes.
TikTok as well. And YouTube is starting to get a lot bigger with hopefully more content on there after the new year. That's under the same name.
And I mean, we always put video versions of the podcast. We don't do video like this, but we're hoping to do it. But there's always like a little something like you mentioned earlier, Danielle, like the came from the basement or something like that. We try to keep it active. So
Oh, well, I love it. And you guys can follow us as usual at No More Late Fees on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Threads. And stay tuned for our Bolt Neck episode with Ryan and Rob later this week.
And as always, be kind and rewind.